Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. It's time for another edition of Training Tip Tuesday with me, Coach Coral from Team Babe Athletics. Hope everybody's week is off to a great start. This week we're doing another round of Coach Q&A and answering questions that you all submitted. So thank you everyone who took the time to reach out, submit your questions to give us some really awesome things to talk about today. Let's see. So, by the way, we have, as of yesterday, launched our first ever Babe virtual camp, and there's still time to hop in. If you are interested in joining a really fun group of women and having some time to connect, share, and really perhaps find some mojo that I know a lot of us have been lacking lately, which is actually something we're going to talk about here in just a little bit, you can still sign up through tomorrow. So it's a 4-week program, it's $19, pretty good deal. And you get a 4-week training plan, and then you also get access to the virtual training camp Facebook group. Lots of really cool stuff happening already. So if you're in, welcome. Super excited that you guys found us. If you haven't joined in on the fun yet, what are you waiting for? It's so much, it's gonna be a blast. So, all right, now down to business. We've got 3 main questions we're gonna touch on today, and they're super timely and very, very important. So, for number 1, a lot of us have got some more time on our hands or perhaps some extra pent-up stress. And so this first question is about overtraining and overtraining syndrome, how to detect it, and what to do if you are feeling these symptoms. So first off, overtraining is actually a syndrome that you can look up, and that's when it's more advanced and you've been chronically overtraining. So basically placing more load than your body can recover from, and it's a balance between load and your recovery is quite a bit off. So your body is just chronically overtrained and overstressed. And something else that I want to note is that right now, your body feels stress very similarly from emotional stress your body feels stress very similarly, whether it's physical stress or emotional or mental stress. So keep in mind that the same training load that you had prior to this incredible scenario that we're currently facing may lead to overtraining if you're also, losing sleep over the emotional stress that you're handling at the moment, etc. So it's not apples to apples, one training load, phase 2 previous. But basically, if you start to become overtrained, it presents differently in everybody, but some of the things to look for are you being restless, irritable, your mood swings, you may feel very flat, whether that's emotionally flat, whether it's physically flat, you lack energy, you may not feel that same pop. You also might start to feel symptoms of depression, anxiety, trouble sleeping, even, as counterintuitive as it sounds. So there's lots of different ways that this can present itself, but essentially it's just your body feeling incredibly overloaded and worn out, and it's trying to tell you something. Actually it's a really good metric, if you track your resting heart rate, if your resting heart rate is significantly elevated, and it will be elevated after a few glasses of wine the evening prior or a hard training session, but if that keeps going for a few days in a row, when typically you'd be bouncing back to a more regular heart rate, that's something to take note of, and your body is trying to tell you something. So resting heart rate is a really good metric that many of us have access to, and you can even if you don't have a watch, you can just, first thing before you get up in the morning, just take your resting heart rate here on your wrist, and just kind of keep track of that before you get going in the morning. So say you identify with a few of these scenarios or symptoms. Now what? Well, the first thing would be to cut back on your training. It really depends on the person, and it's hard to say without knowing you as an athlete exactly what approach you should take, but I would take out high intensity. So, sprint efforts, tempo efforts, drop back also your time of your training, and just keep it very light. I know that we have to keep moving right now, but if you can do some sort of more active recovery oriented activity until your body starts to readjust and recuperate, whether that's restorative yoga, an easy stroll with your dogs, with your family, or by yourself, things like this that allow the body to just recuperate and regenerate, those are going to be very helpful strategies. And then of course, we can't stress this enough, eating as best as possible, getting as much sleep as you possibly can, and then just keeping tabs on how your body's feeling. If this is something that you feel like you've been perpetually overtraining for a long time, please reach out to someone that you have as a trusted source or resource, whether that's a coach, an experienced triathlete friend, that can be a sounding board for you to help you make informed decisions on how best to adjust your training in this current climate and with your current situation. But that is a fantastic question. I also will say, if you are not currently following a period, this word gets me every time. We'll just go with, if you're not currently following a progressive training plan where basically you have a higher load for a couple or 3 weeks, and then you have drop back periods of rest, this is something that you should definitely consider implementing. It doesn't have to be super structured, but just keeping an eye on your volume and your intensity over the period of a couple weeks, and once you've maintained that, drop back and utilize some of these tactics that we just discussed to have a recovery week so that your body's able to absorb the training. And so you've done the hard work, you've done the recovery, and then the body actually comes back stronger. And that's one of the key principles of training to get faster, stronger, more efficient. Okay, so if you're not doing that, reach out to us. This is something that we can help you with. All right, so second question is, what are the differences between training indoors, which most of us are currently doing right now, versus training outside on the road? So if you're currently stuck inside on the trainer, fear not, there's some really cool things that you can do to spice up your routine. And I'm also happy to let you know that you can actually make a lot of gains in your fitness and your strength by utilizing indoor training sessions. So if you're currently on your trainer and feeling bored as heck, I might suggest, if you want the free 99 version of an engaged training session on the bike, there's some really great YouTube videos that you can utilize. They're kind of like videos from a paceline point of view, so you're outside in a group riding, but they've got some intervals built in. Those are free resources that you can find on YouTube. I think CTXC videos is one that I used a while back. Those are really great. And then many people have heard, thanks Stacy, it's my favorite hat. And then also many people have heard about Zwift or Ruvi. Trainer Road is another one. And essentially it allows you to connect either a cadence sensor or a smart trainer to an online app that you can utilize to have a really engaged riding session, but also do structured workouts. And it will tell you how fast or what power wattage you need to be training at. So that's a really good option as well. You can also, on Zwift, do group rides. So if you need some help keeping engaged, those are great tools. Another really awesome perk, like I said, is doing structured workouts on the trainer is actually typically much more beneficial than doing them outside, because you have no interruptions, like squirrels or stop signs or anything along those lines. So you can get a very efficient, very structured, very focused workout in that will subsequently boost your fitness. One thing certainly that we tend to lose feel for is bike handling skills. I would caution against doing backyard skills handling at this moment. Should you take a spill and need to see urgent care, perhaps this is not the best time to make a trip to those sorts of locations, but as you transition back outside here hopefully soon, definitely be mindful that your stability that you may have had a few months ago, it may not be quite the same for the first few rides as you adjust getting your road feel back. If you have rollers, this is another fun indoor contraption. Rollers can help you maintain more of an outdoor ride feel since you're not locked in with that back wheel. So just another fun training tool to consider when you're doing your indoor training. All right, so number 3 is a question that we've probably been fielding most these past month or two with the current climate, and that is, how do I keep my motivation up? And this is a tough one. We are all under immense stress. We're all facing a very different reality and paradigm than we've ever faced before. So with that in mind, I'm going to pitch just a few strategies that you can consider. And really, what works for you may not work for the next person, but just a few considerations for helping mitigate the stress, but also finding some joy and finding some structure in your day-to-day that may help. So the first one that we've really just been totally blown away at recently with our team is how much turning to a like-minded community to just check in on each other, be in the trenches in this moment together, and keep working towards a common goal can help so much more than I think even I ever anticipated. If you don't have that person that has been reaching out to you, make an effort to connect with 1 or 2 people that you haven't talked to in a little while. Ask people how they're doing, but also find a group that you can just touch base with, whether it's coffee in the morning or hopping in on a team babe ride, hopping into our training camp, what have you. Find your people, find your people, find your people. Okay, so community is what will get us through this together and keep us sane and keep us strong. The second one is with our day-to-day routines, pretty out of whack. I would recommend implementing just a little spark of structure into your day. This can help keep you on track and keep you consistent and just keep your daily flow going well. So whether it's waking up, at X time in the morning, grabbing your coffee, and then doing a 10-minute mobility flow, just something to give you a sense of stability, this is going to help. And a little bit of consistency can build into really amazing results. All right, if you're also not feeling super motivated or that same love of what you typically train in, whether that's bike, whether that's run, whether it's strength training, now's a great time to mix it up. Okay, so if you're really just kind of sick of your bike trainer and Zwift is not your speed, maybe try some HIIT workouts. There's a bunch of incredible trainers that are doing free Zoom workouts or very low cost workouts. Tap in, support some of these people, try something new and spice it up. You're actually going to probably get some really great benefits from training in a different way, and maybe find something that you love in the process. So that's pretty cool. The other thing that I will say is, if you are just kind of at a loss for how to orient yourself, reach out to somebody. We've already talked about this, but reach out to someone and maybe get on a training plan with your friend so that you guys can keep each other motivated, check in. I have seen so many people on Instagram recently, taking a picture from their morning run, their morning walk, spin workout, whatever, taking a photo, putting it on their Instagram stories, and then tagging 3 friends that they're staying up to speed with and just seeing how they're doing. A little bit of accountability, that's okay. A little bit of peer pressure can sometimes be a good thing. So, all of that said, motivation, and I've done some talks for our team about this. Motivation, this kind of, sparkly, really exciting feeling, we typically start with motivation, but it's discipline that keeps us going towards our goals. And so it's so often that we look only to the finish line as our orienting goal. And so many of our finish lines have been moved, and sometimes we don't even know where they've been moved to at the moment. So the biggest thing that I can encourage you to do right now is, rather than setting finish line goals, set a process goal. And a process goal can look something as simple as, tonight I'm gonna go to bed. Oh, sorry, I'm back. Tonight I'm gonna go to bed at 11:30, and slowly, if you need to start getting to bed at 10 so you can get up at 6 and do your bike rides, start with a process goal of every day or two, you're gonna move that bedtime back 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, so that you're finally getting to bed at 10, and then you're getting your 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep. You're, 2 weeks from now, getting up at 6, and then you've got the time in the morning to tap into those training sessions that you want to do so badly in the morning, because by the time 2, 3, 4 p.m. rolls around, you're just getting caught up and the day is gone. And you get mad at yourself for not working out, etc., etc., etc. So start small, think process goals. What can you do today that you can be consistent on? These little consistent efforts yield big results in the long run. So don't get discouraged. If you're feeling down, reach out to someone. If you haven't reached out to someone, please reach out to other people. This is definitely a time to connect, reflect, and make some shifts. We're triathletes, guys. We know how to do this in races. It's time to do it in life. That said, thank you for tuning in. If you guys have any questions about training, staying motivated, staying on point, what have you, place a comment and let us know, or you can just message me directly if you want to remain a little bit more anonymous. And we'll be doing these coach Q&As as our Training Tip Tuesday format, probably for the next few weeks at least, because there's a lot of good stuff that I hope that we can provide you guys with that will be beneficial. So thanks again for tuning in. Have an amazing day. Have a great week. Keep it up. Stay badass.